tweak the shape into place here. Yeah, something like that. Alrighty. I think I need to move that out because it's a bit narrow here. Yeah, and this part is, I'm pretty sure, something like that. And we need to fillet these vertices, because you need to think, if you're gonna drink from a bottle like this, a sharp edge, that will just not do. So we have an issue here as well. Just delete it. Move this down, space things out. Yeah. So now we have that thickness going on, and now we can revolve it, but first we need to delete these. We don't need those lines at the bottom. So before actually revolving this, I'm going to name this beer bottle. Just press Alt W to zoom out of my to minimize my front viewport. I'm gonna go to my perspective viewport. So from the modifier list now, I just click on it, press the letter L, and I'm looking for lathe. So if you apply lathe at first, it's not going to work the way you want it to work. This is because you need to adjust the settings here. So we need to work with the y-axis and then set it to max. So right now you can see that it's working pretty good for us. Before scaling it down, you need to make sure you don't need the reference image anymore, but I'm not going to use my reference image anymore to trace the outline of the bottle, so I'm going to right click my scale and just scale it down to its 20%, and then go to my front view, move it on the grid there. Yep. I'm going to center my pivot, and then before we can conclude this tutorial, we need to tweak the shape a bit. You can see there's this point, there's a bit of pinch on the bottom. That's because the vertices on the bottom here are not welded together. You need to take weld core, and we need to somehow get rid of these sharp edges. And we can still, if now you go back to your vertex mode, and if you click on show end result, then what will happen is now you can move your vertices and it will affect the end result. But we're not going to do it that way. We're going to finish off this whole lathe thing and then convert it to an editable poly, and then chamfer these down or just auto smooth it. We'll see. What I think is now I have a bit too much edges going on the bottom here. So what you can do is actually I'm going to raise the segment size a bit, just to get a better kind of bottle here. I'm not going to use turbo smooth on this. I want to achieve the detail like this. So 32 segment sides will give me a round shape here. 16 is a bit blocky. So 32, and then you can go back to your line, and if you go into interpolation, by adjusting this step, you can bring the quality of your curve down. So basically, your lathe model will have less segments, but it only affects these the lines which are placed horizontally on your model, not the vertical ones. The vertical ones are controlled by this segment amount. So I'm going to leave this at 2, and then where I need more detail, I'll just add them. Actually, I'm just keep it at 3. That looks alright here as well, on the top and the bottom. So after this is done, you just right click the lathe and choose collapse 2. Now you might get an error message, actually it's a warning saying that once you do this you cannot get your lathe back. I mean, you can actually if you undo, but you know, if you run out of undo steps, then you can go back eventually to your lathe. What I usually do is just to be sure, I save this this stage of the model out as a backup. So I'm going to, by holding down shift, make and drag it, I'll make a copy. I'll name this you know, beer bottle backup, and I'm just going to hide it. And if something goes terribly wrong with this model, then I can go back to my lathe stage and just tweak it from there. So if you get that warning message, you just click yes. It's warning you that you will lose the lathe and the line, and you get an editable mesh, but you want to convert this to an editable poly. So now I click F4 and I have the wireframe mode, and right now I just need to go into edge and select the first sharp edge, loop, and click on chamfer and just chamfer this out. And then I'm going to select this one as well, loop it, chamfer, yep. And if you feel you have too many edges going on somewhere, you can just delete them. You just select the loop and control backspace to delete the edge and the vertices along along that edge. Loop. So now you go to polygon, and to get rid of these blocky areas, you just Control A, press Control A to select all your polygons and go to auto smooth, and now you'll have a smooth bottle. You might want to double check your vertices down here, because sometimes lathe doesn't weld them together. So you have two vertices. You should have two. If you select, you know, one here, you need to check how many vertices you selected. So it says 1. That means that all these vertices here in this point have been merged together, welded together, and you need to test out the lower one as well. And you can see that here you have 32 vertices in the same spot. So that means if I click here and move it down, then you notice that this part has not been welded to the middle. So you just select these vertices and click on weld. So now you have vertex, that's the number of the vertex, but that means that you have one selected there. So if you move it down, it's welded. So that pretty much concludes this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to get news of new tutorials that come up, just subscribe to this channel, and you will know as soon as the tutorial is up. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.